Libra, welcome to your latest edition of Yours and Theirs in-depth style. Like always, we're going to start by putting down a baseline for you, your person, situation, clarify, and then towards the end put down oracles, yeah? And like always, your person doesn't have to be a significant other, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, or lover type situation. It's whomever fits that dynamic or doesn't. So take what resonates, leave it does not, and reverse energies as you need to, more so, with Yours and Theirs, as energy exchange and interchange is real, rapid, and fluid. These are general collective readings, not one-to-one private. So if they don't resonate at all, normal. Check your other placements. I know it. Gotta have that intro, honey. Gotta have the intro. Got to have the intro. It's for those folks who don't like to follow instructions. I want to be able to refer them back to the intro. You think you'd be used to it, but no. A lot of people aren't, honey. They get mad. It's not theirs. They get angry, they're imposing, they're projecting. You know, it's really simple instructions. If it's not yours, don't force it to fit. That's it. There you go. What's going on, please? Show me Libra in their person. Show me Libra in their person. Show me Libra in their person. Show me that Libra energy, please. Senna, she's fussing. She's fussing. She wanted to play. I'm like, Mommy's still got a little bit more work to do. What's going on, please? Okay, 5 of Cups, sadness, 7 of Cups, 6 of Wands. You'll feel better. You will. You're already in the process of it. Okay? 2 of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the Hierophant. Somebody's energy is pointing at you in terms of interest and excited, and there's some hesitation, though. Decision-making, active decision-making, but Knight of Wands and the Hierophant, it would like to point itself at you. You are showing me sadness, regret, loss, remorse, pain, owie. Okay. I don't know how old it is, but 5 of Cups typically says past orientation, but 7 of Cups, your cups are starting to open back up. From a 5 to a 7, we'll take that. Okay. It's kind of like we're starting to feel better. Our emotions are easing a little bit. We're feeling more than one thing as opposed to just say sadness. Okay. And the 6 of Wands, you're showing me confidence. You're going to be all right. I don't know if this is a brand new energy or somebody who will introduce themselves or come forward in time, or they already know who you are. I just know that they're pointing at you in terms of, I could be interested in that Libra. And then there's the Hierophant there, so that's interesting. Let's see if there's any shared 10 of Pentacles, the 2 of Pentacles. Oh, the Tower. Queen of Swords, 31, your overview. We'll see what you're thinking. Okay, you got a strong thought in there somewhere. Now this is terribly, 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 terribly interesting. It's suggesting over a period of time and confusion, what seemed solid, stable, 10 of Pentacles at first at the forefront, all is well. Everything's in its proper place, and it's extensive, large. 10 of Pentacles is a large construct. And 2 of Pentacles, not so sure. Perhaps it wasn't as stable as we had thought. For somebody. I don't know. There's the Tower. Whatever that is, overhaul. Somebody somewhere saying my foundation's not as strong as I had thought. It was an illusion. The thing about illusions, inevitably, they can only be sustained so long. And we can build into an illusion. That's what Tower is. The foundation might be strong as hell. In any tower. The base. That might be strong and real. But the stuff that was built up around it, that's the false premise. So this idea that somebody here has it all together, or their foundation is just perfect, highly connected, stable, efficient, productive, healthy, that's an illusion somebody's bearing, and they will lose that illusion. Okay. Geez. That's a harsh one, too, when it hits the 3D like that. It's one thing to gain radical insight in the mind. It's another thing to get radical insight and or acceptance in the emotions and so forth, but that's 3D. So that's quite the punch. It's like not all as it appears for somebody. What's up? Let's see that Queen of Swords, please. Show me that Queen of Swords. Show me that Queen of Swords. Show me that Queen of Swords. Show me that Queen of Swords, please. Show me that Queen of Swords. Show me that Queen of Swords, please. Show me that Queen of Swords, please. Oh. Five of Cups. In reverse. Five of Pentacles. The King of Swords. Man, you have made up your mind that that Five of Cups, you are determined you'll get over it. So you've been carrying this around for a while. And there's the acknowledgement here. It's time for you to part ways with the sadness. You don't want to feel like this anymore. You've made up your mind not once but twice. That King, Queen of Swords are backing each other up. It's like you're having a conference call, if you will, with yourself. Libra, you know that Five of Cups we've been carrying around, that sadness, that phenomenal sadness. I don't really want to feel that way anymore, do you? And you're like, no. I've been carrying around the sadness. Don't you think we've been putting up with this long enough? Do you think we've felt everything there is to feel about that Five of Cups? The consensus here is yes. So that Five of Pentacles is saying let's break up with our sadness. It's interesting. It's very rational. And it's a logical conclusion, so it tells me how long you've been in it. Okay, we went from a reverse, you opened up with it. So it tells me you've had some pain knocking around in you for a while, and it probably didn't make any sense to you rationally, and in terms of why it was lingering. Okay, the King and Queen of Swords, they tend to be very informatic. I need information, please. And the lingering, or the echo effect, as I often call it, the Five of Cups, has been ringing in you, and it doesn't make sense. It's like, why is this still in me? Can we break up with our breakup, please? Can we get over it now? I'd like to part ways with that sadness. I'm tired of it. We don't need it. So you're checking, like I said, Libra's having a conference call with Libra, and it's like, hey Chief, I don't like this. I'm like, you know what? I don't either. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. I like it. It took you a minute to get there, don't get me wrong. Some of you, it's 5 months or more. Coming to terms with something that's been very hard for you to come to terms with. But you do know this, intellectually speaking, you're sick of it. You know? So you are coming out of it. What you doing? What you doing, baby? What are you doing? Where's it, boo-boo? Where's it, pumpkin? See the baby? I know, Mommy's almost done. I know. It's been a hard day, huh? We've had this beautiful cold front come in. Very windy, so she wants to be outside. She wants to play. That's that husky energy kicking in, right? And boring old mommy, it's in front of the camera. Like, we could be playing outside in the cold wind. What's wrong with you? I know, I want to get out there too. I love this kind of weather. I do. Let's see. Yeah, we want to get out of this. It's so interesting. It's like you want to break up with the breakup. Sick of it. Sick of the lingering, right? Let's see if that conference call sticks, right? Because I know what that's like. I do. I have a lot of Libra in my chart. Trust me. Senna. No. Good girl. Goodness me. You act like something's over here. There's nothing over here, boo-boo. I know you're bored. Chill. It's okay. Go on. So, I know you're still there. You good girl. Okay, she's laying down on my feet. All right. So, I just know this has been with you for a while, and you know it. You want to be done with it. You've had plenty of time out to think about it. And I said I have lots of Libra in my chart, so I do understand this. When we kind of intellectually, mentally pull ourselves aside and said, "Are we tired of this? Are we tired of feeling this? Has it gotten us anywhere?" I have no more new information on this subject. The pain hasn't shifted or changed. Can we let this go now? Okay. I hope it sticks, because some people can pull themselves aside like that, intellectually speaking, and it does help. It can help. Okay? But I think the thing is that you've been feeling it long enough, so you don't really need to feel it anymore. You know? It's time to part ways with the sadness. I agree. Let's see that Five of Cups, please. Let's see that Five of Cups. Let's see that Five of Cups. Let's see that Five of Cups. Eight of Swords is in reverse. The Fool. The Strength card. Yeah, with strength and perseverance. So clearly, I typically don't read the cards in the downright. I don't have to. That's the benefit of using multiple decks, is that it still gets to the point and it confuses people less, visually speaking. That's the only reason I don't read cards upside down. It's not for me, it's for the audience. People get really confused when they see upside down cards. It's like, is there any special meaning to that? And this, that, and the other. So I typically just avoid it and just use multiple decks. But what's meant to be is what's meant to be. I'm not going to make a fuss with it. They're on the table the way they are. They're supposed to come out like this. So, yeah. Good news for you. Good news for you. You're in the process of taking the blindfold off. Eight of Swords is in reverse here. So the blindness about the situation, typically I would advise people, you need to get in there and feel those feelings, not deny them. You said you've done that. You're tired of that. You're done with it. You're just done with it. You're done with it. The blindfold's off. You're not procrastinating. You don't deny the emotions. You're very acquainted with them. And you're done with it. You're like, I would like to open up some more, please. And it's taking you strength to close off the sadness, okay? To be done with it, to set it aside, and showing more strength to open up to other things. Anything else, just no more of this, okay? You're done with it. You're really done with it. You're sick of it. Yeah, you're sick of the disappointment and the feeling, and you're getting yourself unstuck a little more every day. You're opening up. I would have said the same had it been like this. Despite the blindness of the pain here, you are, with a certain level of strength, making yourself a little bit more open every day, as opposed to allowing yourself to be shut off. See the difference? Everything about tarot depends on the surrounding cards, their placement, context, that kind of thing. So, again, the benefit of using multiple decks. Okay? Seven of Cups. Show me that Seven of Cups, please. Show me that Seven of Cups. But yes, you are opening up. You are. It's like, what am I waiting for? But it does take strength, I agree with you, okay? It takes strength of will to become unstuck. It does. You have to want to. You have to not want to indulge in the sadness anymore. And I mean indulge in that you just keep feeling it every day and you cry about it every day. I understand there's a grieving process, but at some point we have to have that talk with ourselves about, are we done with this? Let's see that Seven of Cups, please. Let's see that Seven of Cups. Let's see that Seven of Cups. That's why I tell, not too long ago with Scorpios, reading the Five of Cups for Scorpio is normal. Don't indulge in it. Just don't indulge in it. It's always going to be there in some way. If it hits you that hard, yeah, you'll always have access to that feeling. So why would you want to feel it every day? See what I'm saying? For that matter, you might have some Scorpio in your chart. All right, the Nine of Pentacles, the Sun, the Page of Pentacles. Yes, baby, you do you. That's kind of like more or less the definition of you do you. Invest in you and your sense of happiness. You're well equipped to do this. You were equipped to do this before this incident, this occurrence, this breakage. You will continue to do so after. You just open up more into yourself. Absolutely. Invest in you above all. First and foremost, invest in yourself, and there you find your happiness. Invest in you and your happiness. Literally, translation here. You are your own person. You're experienced. Okay, find sunshine, reprieve, and happiness in the garden of your own making, for this was done on your own. You did that. Nobody else. So you open back up into you, first and foremost. Okay? Invest in yourself, make yourself happy, and then external happiness will surround you. Everything begins with the self. Your happiness first. Sense of self, personhood, doing right by you. And then you will see it reflected in your outer world. Okay? That's why your heart space is opening up. You're not dedicated to just one feeling now. You're starting to feel a variety of things. You're less numb now. See what I'm saying? It takes strength to do this. But then you start to see the results, and then you keep doing it. There you go. That is, being kind to ourselves, being good to ourselves, and holding ourselves accountable is a form of disciplined exercise. At first, we hate it. At first, we're like, this is taking strength to do this. And then you start to see the benefits of it. You feel a little better every day. You feel a little bit more happily energized every day. You feel a little more productive and fruitful every day. And then you want more of it. That's what healthy investment is. When we don't rely on external sources of happiness to make us happy, we look to ourselves first, then you will never run out of happiness, essentially. Okay. I see that. I'm not saying you're perfect. I'm saying you're growing back into the Libra you always were. And it's looking like you were a Libra that was interrupted from some very serious pain, for which you were stuck in, and I'm happy to say you were unstucking yourself. Yes? Let's see that Six of Wands. Let's see that Six of Wands. And you're feeling better. A little bit every day. Let's see that Six of Wands, please. I had a thought there. I'm going to withhold that for a second. Okay, the Hanged Man, the Nine of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune. Your anxiety and the level of stress that you had within you and around you has actually taught you a lot. It's very interesting. That is interesting. It's a very specific item for the Libra I'm looking at today. The Hanged Man, the Nine of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune. You're saying you can look back on all your fears, anxieties, and frustrations with a certain level of confidence you could not before. Something about all your fears, while they were painful, you were also saying you were correct and that you were right the whole time. That pain and all that frustration was an indication of your correctness, and you can see that now. Interesting. Hindsight is 20/20. But you're saying, looking back on it and how far you've come, the anxiety and mental frustration you experienced over this, it's like telling me that you knew and that you always knew. And that you can accept it now. And that you have a lot more confidence about yourself, because there's something about this where alarms and triggers and things were going off. And you're like, I see that now. And I know better to listen to myself now, that those warnings that I was feeling on the inside were an indication of what I was going through from the very beginning. And I got trapped in my head about it. And I didn't really understand that I was right the whole time. Something like that. It's different. You're saying you have confidence now in everything that you've been through. I don't know what it is that you parted ways with that put you into the state of having to do so much recovery. But it's like you were saying I was right the whole time. I just didn't want to be. And there's a weird sort of confidence in that, right? It's very much after the fact. It's reflection. It's pure reflection. That is total reflection. But that's that same reflection that gives you confidence that, yeah, I was right the whole time, and I'll never not listen to myself again. As you continue to invest in yourself. So again, I'm just to reference, guys, I'm seeing a singular Libra here in the particular process you have gone through in order to get over something that ended and some time before, but it has been echoing through you like an echo chamber, right? It's been in there for a long time, and now you're like, I'm sick of feeling this and thinking about it, Libra. Are you? And you say, yeah, I am. I can get unstuck now. But it's a really interesting reflective point. All that fear, stress, and anxiety said that I was right from the very beginning. I just didn't see it that way. Probably because you didn't want it to be true. But it was. So your instinct was there. Okay. Let's take a look at this person. Let's see what's going on here. Some of this Two of Wands, please, in this person. I don't quite know who or what this is to you yet. Or who they might have been. Let's see that. Show me that Two of Wands, show me that Two of Wands, show me that Two of Wands. Show me that Two of Wands, show me that Two of Wands. Death, Seven of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles. Ooh. This person's immediately opening up with a defense thought, a defense theory. I am not ending this. Nothing is going to be allowed to touch my Ten of Pentacles. Nothing will interfere with my foundation at all costs. Nothing will touch it. Nothing will come close to it. It will not end while they're connected to you or looking at you. Why would they be thinking this while they're connected to you? Or even energetically, they're pointing at you. But they immediately open up with a defense thought. I will not have anything obstruct my foundation, come close to jeopardizing it. I will not shut it down. It will not be altered. It will not be changed. I will defend its ending, or rather anti-ending at all costs. I will not allow it to transform. I will not allow it to alter. Across the universe, nothing's going to change my world. Nothing's going to change my world. I will not allow you to change my world. Oh. It's like saying to the universe, nothing is allowed to touch this, including you. Nothing will change my foundation or alter it in any way. I will not allow it to happen. My foundation's untouchable. You will have nothing to do with it. Nothing's going to change my world. I'll see to that. Then why is their energy pointing at you? In order to have access to someone's life and energy by default, there has to be some allowance for change, or nothing will change. You can't point your energy at somebody and be like, but I refuse to change my world. So that means that's just useless wanting. So why would the Hierophant be here if there's a bunch of useless wanting? This is very much the definition of I will not make allowance for change. Not in my world. So why the hell do they have any business pointing their energy at you if they refuse to change what's already in play? Inflexibility, no alterations, no transformations. It will not happen. I won't allow it. Then why were they talking to you? If they didn't want to include you in their world, or they wouldn't allow their world to change for you or anybody. What the fuck is that? Well, let's find out. Let's see that Knight of Wands, please. Well, now, that little theory might have some change after all, despite that person's protests, I suppose. Let's see that Knight of Wands, please. Let's see that Knight of Wands. Let's see that Knight of Wands. Let's see that Knight of Wands. Let's see that Knight of Wands, please. I don't know what's in that person's foundation, honey. I just know it's extensive. Foundations have to be in order to be one. They have to be strong. Their intuition, Queen of Swords, was pointed at you. Nine of Swords. Their intuition is what looks like, I believe, sexual energy was pointed at you. You knew this. It stressed you out. Nine of Swords. You knew this. Remember how I told you in future your confidence rises as time passes? You can look back. Hindsight is 20/20. Yes, I understand that. But also you were telling me you were right the whole time. Yes, you were. There you are again. The Queen of Swords and the Nine of Swords. You were right the whole time. They were attracted to you, even while they refused you. Their intuition, I believe, as well as their sexual energy, was pointed to you. You knew this. You knew this, and it caused you stress because it pulled on you, and perhaps you desired it back. You're saying you were right the whole time. You're saying that you were right the whole time. All those fears and anxieties and the stress of whatever this was, however it proposed itself, and however they were pointing at you, which largely feels passionate. Intuitively, you said that's probably all it was, and that you were right. That's why they weren't, or you weren't allowed to have any shape or say in the world, is because, from your point of view, you felt it wasn't more than passion. So you weren't taken as a serious element for transformative change in this person's world. Am I right? It stressed you out to know this, but you didn't want to know it. Is that it? Yeah, it's going to stress somebody out. And you realize you're just kind of like a fun time play element in that person's world. A way to pass the time. Cheap thrill. Intuitively you felt that's what it was. In the future, you know that's what it was. And that you were right this whole time. I don't care what they told you. You were right. You're showing me confirmation of your correctness in future. You're right. And you're really tired of ruminating on it, thinking about it. It's kind of like you're saying, can we break up with the breakup? It's not really so much of a loss when you think about it, Libra. What were you losing exactly? Somebody who refused to change their world to accommodate you because they probably were sexually interested in you at best. I made it very clear. Libra's not allowed to change my world. Make it known across the universe. You cannot gain entry. But I'll go ahead and point some of my energy at you. Whether or not it was more than that, I don't know. But bare minimum, it stressed you out, even while you tried to not acknowledge it, that it was probably just sexual energy. But you were correct, even though you didn't want to be. That's what I was saying. Rewind it. In future, in a weird way, it gives you comfort, knowing that you were right, even though you didn't want to be right. In many ways, it frees you. That way you know not to take your feelings for this or for them too seriously. Do they deserve it? Do they deserve this level of mourning and sadness and frustration? Probably not. Because they probably didn't see you that way. So why would you give them that much consideration? Well, probably because you're not an asshole. You know. Alright, let's see that Hierophant, please. Let's see that Hierophant. Let's see that Hierophant. Let's see that Hierophant. It probably meant something to you, in other words, even though it didn't mean too much to them. But let's take a look. Show me that Hierophant, please. The Knight of Cups, the Devil, the Ace of Cups. Well, I can see why you felt concluded, denied, but concluded ultimately they just had sexual interest in you. I can see why you would think that. This person's terrified to be in love with you. Terrified. Terrified to release any emotional energy that's real and authentic that they can stand behind. Their heart's terrified. Their heart's terrified to be in love, to accept love. Oh, that's a lot of fear surrounding this person's heart. Their emotional interest. Perhaps it's tied somewhere else in a codependent type thing. I don't know. The Devil over the Hierophant, that's a really strong combination, and one I know I'm not particularly interested in breaking, and you shouldn't be either. That's not any of your business, anybody's business. Unfortunately, that's one of the worst combinations I can tell you in tarot, is the Devil with the Hierophant. One 100% reinforces the other. They all have pros and cons. Even the Devil has a pro. And you better believe he reinforces the Hierophant's con. The Hierophant, his biggest con by far is that he is pretty much paid to enforce agendas that he never wrote. So let's take it as a religious structure. He didn't say write the religious text, but he's required to enforce it. So if he honestly is told something is wrong and scary, he's going to enforce it without thinking otherwise, because he's an inside-the-box guy. Inside the book, inside the box, chained to that particular thinking, even if it doesn't speak to his ideals or ideologies or higher self. The Hierophant, above all, is meant to represent higher self, of the self. In order to really commit to something, anything, be it an idea, a religion, a way of life, marriage, you have to commit to yourself, know what it is you stand up for first and foremost. But if somebody blindly enforces something that they never had anything to do with in its construction, then that's what you call blind faith, blind following, and it may not represent them, but they could be convinced it is. And this person is absolutely terrified to think or bend outside of whatever it is they are chained to. That's way too much fear, and it's reinforced in all the worst ways. If somebody is determined to believe something is bad, that devil's going to back it up, even if they're being proved wrong in front of their face. What surrounds it is love, which they see as bad and threatening. God forbid my higher self actually connects to my heart space in a way that I want. Probably because it's tied poorly to someone else, but they don't see it that way. They see it as, but that's what I'm supposed to be with or be part of, even if it's bad for them. And so here we have an avoidant of what's actually good for them. They're not used to listening to their higher self. They're used to enforcing stuff they agree to, even if it's not good for them. So that's too much fear. I could break that down for I don't know how much longer. But it has not to do with you. That was already in place for this person long before you hit the scene. I do know it was an opportunity in new love. They felt it, and it scared the shit out of them. So, from your perspective, and they admit it too, intuitively they felt the sexual attraction, and that's probably all they thought it amounted to. And you were stressed that you were right about this. You were right about that. Do they have the capacity to love? Yes. Are they afraid to? Yes. Are they afraid to fall in love? Yes. Are they afraid to receive the love that they desire from you? Absolutely. Did they want it? Uh-huh. Did they act like they did? No. And there's also every reason to believe that they are poorly tied to someone else. If you're that afraid to open your heart, you're that afraid to change the world, yeah, there's a very good chance that they are poorly tied to something else altogether. And again, it has nothing to do with you. Their mind was completely bent on conformity and no change, even if it's at their cost. I don't know what the hell they committed to, but it most certainly isn't themselves. There, I said it. The irony is, with that kind of combination, they probably think that they have. Yeah, no, I mean, have confidence in that. Yeah, you were correct. Is that from your point of view, it probably all amounted to sexual attraction. They're actually very desirous of a new heart, of a new love, but tell it to somebody who's that terrified. And then they're like, oh, no, this, that, and the other. I got this, that, and the other going on. No. You're not going to change my world. It's a threat. They perceive new love as a threat, even if it's good for them or ideal for them. They're saying, I can't change, and I don't want to change, and you're not allowed to change me. Yet they wanted to be tempted by the change. Terrified to be vulnerable. Terrified to be vulnerable. They wanted that. This is that person that wants that big love. That big love. And they found it in you. So, of course, they spent a lot of time denying it. Okay. Let's jump on over here to this Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, I can see why you're done with this. I'd be done with it too. I get it. I'd be done with it too. None of this is your business. They wanted to be tempted into feeling other things, to get close to it, to get close to the flame, but don't touch it. Entice people in, draw them in, but don't actually claim anything. I'm guessing this person has a little habit of flirting with people to draw them in. Right? Tempt me into new love. You won't succeed. I'm not prepared to change my world for you. No. But I want to tempt you in. And they do this at an unconscious level. I can see that this is so deeply patternized of fear. They've done it before. You're not the first person they've done this to. I'm going to draw you in. I'm going to draw you in because I want to feel something. But I'm not going to allow it to happen. Nothing's going to change my world. No. You know what it is? It's probably just sexual energy. That's all it is. You know that? What you do now? Libra, I'm looking at. They've done it before. They call this stuff temptation, but really it's their heart that wants to be tempted into love. To receive it. Gets too close? Nah. It didn't mean nothing. And remember, nothing's going to change my world. So if someone treats you like that, believe them. Ten of Pentacles, please. Let's see that Ten of Pentacles. This up in the air, Ten of Pentacles. Let me make this clear. You're 100% not attached to them. I'm not quite sure why I'm saying this today. Let's see if we can keep going here. Ten of Cups, Page of Wands, the stars. There's that Ten of Pentacles. I believe this person feels that they are safeguarding that Ten of Pentacles because it's their dream desire, that it's emotionally harmonized, that it's everything that they've ever wanted. It's everything they've ever wanted. So why do they try to open themselves up to other areas if they're so happy and satisfied? Are they trying to think they're open to new offers that could represent the star and the Ten of Cups? No, they're not. They're completely closed off to it. They made that very clear. They're completely closed off to change. Yet they like to think they could open up to the ideal. No, they're not. They're completely closed off to the ideal. Let's see that Two of Pentacles, please. It probably never occurred to them with this person who has such a heavy pattern that they've done it before that there's something very wrong with what they committed to. And it's most certainly not their higher self. I really wish people would put two and two together. I keep drawing people in and then I have to push them away. Why is that? Because I'm actually satisfied with my life or because I'm not? Ooh, there's the thought. I swear to God, half of therapy is just pointing out the obvious. The other half is getting that person to be confrontational with themselves, to accept it. That way they can do something about it. Oh, yeah. The tarot's not so different. Okay, the Magician, the Three of Wands, the Page of Swords. Lack of insight. Lack of fucking insight, man. Total lack of insight. The energy is way too small to understand. That I hate this. Just because it irritates me. It goes back to what I warn people about all the time. Don't blindly manifest, because when the universe tries to hand it to you... Remember, you said you wanted the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, and the stars and all that? You wanted the ideal everything? Trying to hand that to you, bruh. And then you act like, I didn't know I wanted this. This is not what I wanted. Yeah, somebody's been longing for the best of everything, the best of the world, to actually commit to it. But they don't. They commit themselves to the wrong thing because they can't commit to themselves first. It's fear. It's fear to get what you really want. It's fear to know who you really are in order to achieve what you really want. You cannot get what you really want if you don't know who you really are. That's it. And this person is so terrified to open up to real love. They are terrified to open up to change that could lead to new love. So they flirt with energies, draw them in, kind of tempt them, and then they lock it back down and realize, oh, once more the world is a scary place. Oh, dear me, poor me, the universe is trying to help me out again. Oh, dang it. I have all the worst luck in the world. So that's blind manifestation over a long period of time. They're going to be waiting a long time. Nothing will ever be right to this person who's terrified to claim their own destiny and who is terrified to commit to themselves. That's just blind manifestation, man. Two of Pentacles, the Magician, Three of Wands, Page of Swords, lack of insight. They've been doing this forever. I told you, you're not the first person. Why am I saying them? Why am I saying them? Why am I saying this? Let's see that Tower. Let's see that Tower. Let's see that Tower, please. Let's see that Tower, please. Show me the Tower. Show me the Tower. The Five of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Ten of Wands. What this has to do with you, I couldn't say. I have no bloody clue. I can tell that you both want the same things. You want the ideal stable foundation, the ideal emotional stability, and the ideal vision. Okay. You actually want to execute it. They just like the idea of it. You know. But they're nowhere near it because they're nowhere near who they are. Again, it's like 2 + 2. Your actions and behaviors, what does that tell you about how well you know yourself or don't? Someone's going to have a radical shift in their foundation because it's not nearly as stable as I believe they think it is. It's not. It's completely unstable. It's a radical transformation. It is in the 3D world. So it's not just in one mind or heart. It is the actual 3D. There is going to be a radical breakup here. You've already showed me that you're on your own and that you have come to terms with what it is that you know. And you were correct. This person was pointing energy at you because they're restless and dissatisfied. They have a hungry heart, but they refuse to acknowledge that they have a hungry heart, which means everything they've committed to is false and incorrect because they don't know who they are, so they can't commit to themselves, never mind everything else that they signed up for. And that is one of the worst illusions you can possibly build a foundation and or life upon, and they're going to learn that the hard way, or so it seems to me. Once they realize over and over again how their dissatisfaction has rolled up repeatedly over time, making the same mistakes, concluding to the same results, they're going to have an explosive moment one day that has nothing to do with you. So why I'm seeing it, I couldn't say. I don't do revenge tarot. It's not my thing. I'm not trying to focus on their outcome, but it is happening to them. What it has to do with you, I don't know. You both want the same things. Unlike them, however, you actually have a healthy sense of how to achieve it. Knowing who you are first and foremost. I don't know how much of your love you put into this person, but it was enough that you got hurt by it, and you can't help but wonder about the nonsense of that, logically speaking, upon your opening. I was like, can we break up from our breakup? Because I've had a lot of time to think about it, and it seems like I don't mean jack shit to this person. For a while there, I entertained the delusion that perhaps we both wanted the same things, but that was my bad. Why am I still mourning this asshole? That's an excellent question, Libra. I don't know why I'm seeing them. I can see where you're sick of mourning this. I don't blame you at all. I don't. I don't know why I'm seeing their foundation breaking up. The one that they said they would refuse to change for. Nothing will interfere with it. They refuse to change. They will keep that foundation intact at all costs. Nothing will affect it, not even you. Okay. Then why am I seeing it come down and cut by half? It's not because of you. You're not in the picture anymore. It's because everything they've built upon is faulty. There's something in here that I'm talking about that they're going to be experiencing when they realize they've signed up for all the wrong things in life based on a lack of commitment to the self. Who it is we really are, what really speaks to us, and if you're that terrified to go for the real deal, you always will be, unless you're willing to make major changes. This person wants the real deal. They want the best and the biggest, and they want to pay the least, and that formula never works out. And why does that happen? It's fear. When you're terrified to know what you really love and how deeply you can love and how much you can actually sacrifice for it, that's scary shit. You either step up to the plate or you back off. And I think this person's used to backing off when things get too strong. Maybe they suffer from imposter syndrome. I have no idea. But if you really believe you're not worth it, or it can't be like that, or it can't, you're going to talk yourself out of shit. I don't know. But that is indeed a radical break. You already showed me, let me make this clear, break from this. I'm seeing them in that precious foundation. They said that they will never change at all costs. Not even if you put a gun to their head, they're not going to change it, and they're not going to let you or anyone interfere with it. Well, suddenly that's all shifting and changing at some point in the future. We went from half-assed, back-of-the-mind manifestation, I would love to change things, maybe one day, to one day that's going to happen. And I don't know why I'm seeing it from their point of view. Because as far as I can tell, you two are nowhere near each other. Communication or physical proximity. So, what does it have to do with you? Unless things fall apart that badly for this person, they get in their chariot, bug out, and they come knocking on your door. Oh, wouldn't that be some shit? So I don't know why I'm seeing this. I had the same talk with Scorpios, and they're yours and theirs. I'm like, why am I seeing them? They still ain't doing shit. Except this person is doing something. I can't tell if that radical change was forced upon them, like they had no choice, or they're choosing a radical exit. And it does look like a radical exit to me. After all that fussing and bitching and moaning about, oh, woe is me, I'm giving all these opportunities in love and I have to reject them all. What's wrong with people? I only want everything and act like I don't because I'm clearly dissatisfied in the world I have created. You get what you pay for, honey. You get what you pay for. You sell out for the cheap, you get cheap results. And then you end up having to abandon the whole thing. The Hanged Man, perspective. Queen of Pentacles. The Nine of Wands. Insight, resistance. About the comfort. Doesn't know how to take care of themselves. Don't know how to love themselves. Chariot, there's that Chariot again. I'll be buggered. Guess who they're going towards? God dang it, I called it. I called it and I wasn't trying. I was like, why am I seeing this, man? Well, because whenever their world is done imploding or exploding, that Chariot takes off really quick. That foundation, they said nothing ever going to happen to it. Nothing's going to change my world. It changes. There's that Chariot. Guess who it's going towards? Does their world fall apart and then they come to you expecting to pick up the pieces? Or are they actually making radical changes to include you in their life? I don't know, honey. You need some perspective on this because your initial response is resistant, and I don't blame you. You're going to need perspective on this one. I don't know where this is coming from, this radical shifting, if it's coming from a good place in them or the bad, because I can see that they are encased in fear, change, and specifically committing to what's in their best interest. They're used to taking on commitments that aren't in their best interest. And then they flirt around with other energies to try to pull them out of it, but they're never, you can't convince anybody to do anything. You know how it is. I think I've used this analogy before. I repeat myself, ha ha ha. You know, anyone who's ever worked in sales will tell you get those people who window shop. They want to be tempted. So your job as the salesman is to pull them onto the other side completely. Get the sale. And there's that person that wants to flirt with those brand new shiny vehicles. They want to look at it. They want to be talked into it, tempted, and that salesman's doing everything. They're pulling out all of it, all the stops, bells and whistles, you name it, to get that person. And they're like, no, I just wanted to look at the car. I just wasted 5 hours of your life, but I just wanted to look at the car. Take it for a test drive. And, I made you think I might have made a sale today, but nah. I just want to check out. And so imagine them doing that, not once, but let's say once every day. They really want that fucking car, but they won't admit it to themselves, because then that means they'd have to change. They'd have to trade in their old vehicle. They'd have to start making accommodations. They'd have to admit to themselves they actually wanted it. They'd have to shift their life around, get the money for it, part ways with their old car in order to get the new. You see what I'm saying? And it could be their ideal car, and you don't have to be too much of a salesman. You don't have to be too much of a salesman. If somebody really wants it, you don't really have to do too much of a sale. So I'm saying there's not enough persuasion or energy in this person's world to change them, but they want to be tempted into change, and that wasn't your responsibility. It was never your responsibility. If they want comprehensive change, it's on them. There's not enough you could say or do in this world to change someone's mind who isn't prepared to change, and they're not prepared to change. So whatever this is, you stay the hell out of it. That's on them. Whatever that is, that's on them. And I'm sorry it's so harsh, but that's what happens when you allow to build your illusions that high for that long. They have the opportunity for a massive reset if it's done well. I will give them that. If it's done well, they have the opportunity to hit or smash that reset button. But it's not your business. You continue to do your own thing. Okay. But yeah, if they come to you and mean it for the right reasons, it would make sense. But that's a hell of a lot of shifting for someone who at this point, let's call it for what it is, has shown a great deal of cowardice. Say it for what it is. Okay. Maturity level, confused, robotic. Yeah. You can't help but question this person's maturity level. I don't blame you. It seems like they're experienced, but at the same time it's not. I get it. It's robotic. You've kind of had to get, I see that on your opening with that King Queen of Swords, you've had to get into that place of just treating this robotically. It's like I said, Libra was having a conference call with Libra, and he was like, this is irrational and ludicrous. Are we done with this? Because it seems like wherever they were connecting with us was stupid and immature. If they're so happy with their foundation on willingness to change, why were they flirting with me? Shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Unchained my heart. Unchained melody. Avoidance. That's what I'm saying. They want people, somebody to affect them, to unchain their heart, to convince them to get themselves out of their own codependent, toxic bullshit situation that's fear-based and allows them to act cowardly despite the fact that their heart's so much bigger than that and that their sense of commitment would be so much bigger than that, but they have to commit to themselves first. And there's not enough pulling on the heartstrings enough to convince somebody to come out. You can't tell a smoker to quit smoking and act and just expect instant results. It's the same thing. If somebody's that afraid, they won't change. It's that. So avoidance. They want to be tempted to come out, but then they also avoid it when somebody actually takes them up on it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, convince me to come out. Convince me to love you. Convince me to attach to you. I might change my world for you. No, I won't. Same thing. Stop attaching yourself to shit that's not good for you and you won't have to end up like this. Seriously. Jesus. You know, it's easier said than done, especially when you have a pattern. Past lives, you are enough. Express your love. Engagement. They are the one. Yeah, well, that could be. But you won't know that just yet. But you are indeed enough. You are enough on your own. I see that right here. And perhaps you too are soul bonded, and that's the way that suggests past lives. I'm saying that more as somebody's had many opportunities in this life, in past occurrences, to have cottoned on to what the hell's going on by now. And have faith. Have faith. Have faith. Have faith in yourself first and foremost. What they're going through is what they're going through, and I'm advising you right now, don't participate in it. If they change up the world, that's on them, and it needs to be. They need to make decisions for themselves for once, instead of having other people coax them or try to tempt them. Fuck that. All the best change will occur on one's own 2 feet and of one's own sound mind, not by outside influence. They do it, then they do it on their own back, not on your dime. Real change is owned. You understand? Owned, not influenced. That's why, guys, what do you think I say? Tarot doesn't dictate shit, you do. I can influence you, but my influence has a limitation. If you don't do it, then you don't do it. If you don't want to, you don't want to. End of story. And if you do, I'm just confirming the direction you were headed in this whole time. So I'm saying, your influence or lack of influence on this person or situation has dick to do with what they ultimately do. So don't be that influence. If they make that level of change, it has nothing to do with you. You might have been an influence, but you're not the agent at the end of the day. They're the agent. That's enough. The letters T, O, the medallion of you, Libra, Pisces. Okay? The medallion of Taurus, Diamond, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, a strong sense of commitment here. Okay? And then Diamond in the rough, the beauty of it, the commitment, all that, wealth too, possibly. The letters K and I. Okay. Libra, honey, I hope this helped you. It was complicated, interesting, complicated. I think we got that. This is going to be one of those situations where it either applies to or it doesn't. Oh my God, the nerve to see that Chariot come towards you. And you're like, where is this coming from? Yeah, I'd have a couple of questions too, as you should. Your reaction was literally, where is this coming from? What? In January, within 2 weeks, 18 months, at dusk, April. Okay, we got a little bit of time frames across the board. I hope this helped you. Put in the comments as you see fit. Take care. Be well.